Warning, this video is rated R. Viewers that can watch that are 18 and older, enjoy the video, and happy Halloween. A forest ranger was patrolling in the woods. After he was done patrolling, he was going to walk to his car. While he was heading to his car, he was on his phone texting his girlfriend. He messaged her saying he'll be coming home. That is until his corner of his eye caught something. He turns his head to see an abandoned house right in front of him. At first, he's like, should I go in there? But then says, sure as hell, I'm not going in there. It's Thursday night. I should be heading home. As he's about to walk away, he hears a scream for help in the abandoned house. Someone help me! He's trying to kill me! Somebody help! The forest ranger is shocked by this. But he doesn't know whether it's a joke. But the person's screams got more louder. Please, help me! Please! The forest ranger runs towards the abandoned house and breaks inside. As he pulls out his gun, aiming to shoot at anything. He sees that the house looks very abandoned, torn up walls, and very, very a mess. He hears the person's screams again. Help! I'm down here! He's got me! Please help me! The forest ranger follows the noise. He walks through a hallway, and he sees stairs below him. The forest ranger thinks to himself if he should go down there. Then he hears a person's scream for help one last time. Help! Help me, please! He takes a deep breath and runs down the stairs. As he gets to the bottom, he sees a door in front of him. The door is cracked open slightly. He runs towards the door and kicks it open. He raises his gun, shouting out, Freeze! Forest Ranger! There was nothing but darkness. As he was about to get his flashlight, a light turns on, revealing a basement that he's in. He shouts out, saying, Reveal yourself! As he looks around the whole basement, his eyes locked on something. The forest ranger lowers his gun as he is shocked and horrified. He sees dead bodies hanging on the wall, tools and sharp weapons hanging on the wall. Then he sees pumpkins on the floor. He looks at the dead bodies and sees that each body are gutted with pumpkin faces on all the dead bodies. He was horrified by seeing this. Then he starts to vomit all over the floor. After he's done vomiting, he wipes his mouth and is about to get his radio until his corner of his eye caught something. He turns his head to see an alarm clock. As he looks at it, the timer reaches to 12 o'clock. Then he hears a voice saying, Help me, help me, oh please, he's trying to kill me. The forest ranger turns around to see a man wearing a costume. The costume was black and orange, and the man was wearing a pumpkin mask. You were so stupid to come here. You should have been smart and just walk off. The forest ranger is shocked. Before he's about to raise his gun and tell the pumpkin man to put his hands in the air, the pumpkin killer throws a knife straight through the forest ranger's neck. He drops the gun as he collapsed to the floor, gagging, blood spilling on the floor. The pumpkin killer walks to get his sharp weapon. He grabs a switch sight and walks towards the forest ranger. He looks up to see the pumpkin killer. Look at that. It's 12 o'clock. Happy fucking Halloween. The pumpkin killer kills the forest ranger. We open to a nice house as we see a mother and her two teen kids. The mother's name is Raven, and her two kids are named Rhodey and Diana. They are fraternal twins, and they're both 17 years old. Raven had a husband named George, who was a police officer. George was a great police officer, always doing his job and helping the citizens. And he was a good and lovely husband to Raven. He was also ready to become a father as well. However, something terrible happened to George. Raven was about to give birth to her children. Her parents took her to the hospital while George was at work. When he got the call from his parents about his wife, George got into his police car to drive to the hospital. The dash cam was on, and George didn't realize it was on. The police said while George was driving to the hospital, he stopped his police car in the middle of the road at the forest. They said George got out his police car while he was armed. The footage saw George going into the woods, but he never came back. When the police team came, they only found his police car. They went searching into the woods to find him. They were able to find him, but George was stabbed multiple times. He was pronounced dead. When Raven heard about her husband's death, she broke into tears. Even George's parents broke into tears for their son's death. After the police honored George for a good policeman he was, Raven stayed strong to raise her children by her own. George's parents stayed strong as well. Raven took good care of her son and daughter. It's what George would have wanted. Now that Rhodey and Diana are older, they were going to throw a Halloween party. They already finished decorating the house and got the food and drinks. All they need is a box of beers, and they're ready to start the party. Raven gives her kids $40 to get the beer, and she says it was okay to throw a party as long as the teens don't do you know what in neither of their bedrooms. They all started to laugh. After that, Rhodey and Diana invited all their friends to the Halloween party, and even texting them to the invite as well. We go to the woods as we see a teen boy on his phone. Then he got a text message to the invite. Alright, Halloween party. I just need to go home, get my costume, and I'm ready to go. As the teen boy was walking in the woods, he stops and notices something. He sees blood on the grass. He bends down and touches it. He realizes it was real blood. Then he noticed the blood lead to a trail. Whoa, what the hell? He follows the blood trail, and he gets to the end of the blood trail. He stops as he's horrified to see a dead woman's body on the ground. Her body was gutted with a face of a pumpkin. Oh my god, I gotta get the fuck out of here! Before the teenage boy could run away, the pumpkin killer stabbed him straight through his back, killing the teen boy as he falls to the ground. The pumpkin killer grabs his switch sight off the dead teen boy. Then he hears a phone message. He grabs the teenager's phone and sees the invite message at Rhodey and Diana's Halloween party.
An invite to a Halloween party? Well, I'm there.
The pumpkin killer takes the body back to his basement, and he starts to grab his weapons and put them in a bag. He grabs a backpack and takes off his costume and puts it in his backpack. He puts on regular clothing. He walks out his abandoned house and walks into the woods. He heads to the town. We don't see the killer's face. The killer doesn't know where the invite party is at. That is until he overhears a couple of teen girls saying they'll be heading over to Diana's Halloween party. The killer remembers on the teenager's phone was sent by a teen girl named Diana. The killer follows the teen girls. After 8 minutes of walking, he gets to Rhodey and Diana's house. Then he sees a couple of teens wearing Halloween costumes. The killer looks around so that no one else can see. He hides behind a big bush as he puts on his pumpkin costume. Then he heads inside the house. All the teens are having a good time with each other, dancing, laughing at jokes, and drinking beers. Raven is having a good time, but she does warn the teens not to break anything. Rhodey and Diana are having a good time too. The pumpkin killer blending in with the teens in their costumes. He tries to pick any teen victims to kill. Then he looks at these old picture frames. As the killer looks at the pictures, he looks at this one picture of a man. The killer gets a closer look as he recognizes this man.
I know that man. This must be his house.
Then he looks at another picture. The picture is Raven, Rhodey, and Diana. Then the killer starts to put the pieces together.
Ah, now I see. Guess I better get started.
As everyone's still having a good time, a teen girl asks Diana where she can find another beer. Diana says the rest of the beer is in the garage. The teen girl thanks Diana as she goes to the garage. She opens the door and turns on the light, revealing the garage. She goes to the fridge and gets one beer. Then she hears the door open and shut. She turns around to see the pumpkin killer. The teen girl just laughs it off, thinking it's a joke. She tries to walk past the pumpkin killer until he grabs the teen girl's arm as she drops her beer and breaks to the ground. She starts to get a little bit afraid. Then the pumpkin killer says,
If this was a joke, would I do this?
He grabs his switch sight and stabs it straight through the teen girl's left hand. She screams in pain as she gets her hand off the switch sight. She tries to run away, but the pumpkin killer grabs her hair and throws her to the ground. He raises his switch sight in the air, but the teen girl manages to dodge it as the switch sight hits the ground. She grabs the broken beer bottle and throws it at the pumpkin killer's face. She runs towards the door. She opens it, calling out for help, but the pumpkin killer grabs her hair again and slits her neck. He lets go of her and drops to the floor.
Never get a beer alone. But you did.
The party has ended. Rhodey thanks everyone for coming and have a good night. As everyone leaves, Diana was looking for the teen girl, but she can't find her anywhere. But then she remembers that the teen girl went to the garage to get a beer. She walks into her house. She sees her mother and brother cleaning up the house. She opens the door and turns on the light. She doesn't see the teen girl. She walks into the garage, then she steps on something. She looks down to see a broken beer bottle. Diana starts to get confused. Then she spots a white blanket with bloodstains all over. She notices that there's something covering over the white blanket. Diana slowly walks towards the white blanket. She uncovers it, revealing the dead teen girl's body. Diana is shocked and horrified. Then she hears a voice saying,
Find anything?
She turns to see the pumpkin killer holding 2 knives as he turns off the light. In the darkness, Diana begins to scream, objects and crashes falling over. The pumpkin killer trying to attack at Diana. She may be in the darkness, but she manages to grab something heavy and manages to hit it at the pumpkin killer. She drops the heavy object and tries to find the light switch. Then she feels the light switch and turns on the light. The pumpkin killer runs towards her. He grabs her head and knocks her to the wall. Meanwhile, Raven and Rhodey have just finished cleaning up the house. Raven notices that Diana hasn't came back. Rhodey says to his mom he saw Diana saying goodbye to their friends. Raven says that Diana was supposed to help clean up the house. Raven is starting to get a little worried. Rhodey says he'll check the front and see if Diana is there. Raven says she'll check Diana's room. Rhodey goes check to see if Diana is at the front. He sees that she's not there. He walks around searching for Diana, but he can't find her. He goes inside his house, locks the front door, and heads to the backyard to see if Diana's there. Raven goes to Diana's room. She opens the door, but Diana isn't there. She checks her closet. She wasn't there. Raven is now worried. She gets on her phone and tries to call Diana. We go back to Rhodey as he's outside at the backyard looking for Diana. He calls out for her, but there's no call back. Then Rhodey says, "Okay, Diana, joke's over. You can stop messing around now." Then he hears something. He turns around to see a big bush moving. Rhodey slowly walks towards the moving bush. Then he says, "Don't try to scare me, Diana. I know it's still Halloween, but I'm not in a mood for a jump scare. And if you jump out and scare me, I'm telling Mom." But there's still no callback. As he gets closer to the bush, a bird pops out of the bush, which startles Rhodey. He watches the bird fly away. Then he takes a deep breath and starts laughing. It's only just a bird. Then he hears a voice shouting, "And this is a switch site!" Rhodey quickly turns around to see the pumpkin killer holding a weapon, running towards him. Rhodey quickly dodges the killer's weapon. Then the pumpkin killer tries to attack at Rhodey. Rhodey fights back. He gets the upper hand on the killer, but the pumpkin killer gets the upper hand as well. He uses his knee to hit Rhodey's chest. Rhodey drops to the ground. Then the pumpkin killer raises his switch sight to stab it at Rhodey's head, but Rhodey quickly rolls over to the side as the killer's switch sight hits the ground. Rhodey grabs a small statue and hits the killer's face. The killer drops to the ground. As Rhodey runs to his house, he gets inside and locks the sliding door. He looks through the window and sees the killer getting back up. Raven runs downstairs and says to Rhodey she can't find Diana, and she's not answering her calls. Rhodey runs to his mom and says there's a masked killer outside at the backyard, and they have to call the police. That is until they hear the sliding door window break. They both turn around to see the pumpkin killer breaking into their house. He must have used the small statue to break the window. The pumpkin killer charges at them. Rhodey grabs his mom's hand as they both run into the living room. The killer chases them as he blocks their way. Rhodey grabs a pair of scissors and uses it as a weapon. We go back to the garage as Diana wakes up from consciousness. She looks to see the dead teen girl. Then she remembers she was being attacked by a pumpkin killer. She hears screaming and crashing in the house. She quickly gets up and tries to open the door, but it's locked. The killer must have locked it. Diana grabs a hammer and hits the doorknob several times. She hits it one more time until the doorknob breaks off. She opens the door and runs inside. She goes to the kitchen and grabs a big knife and runs into the living room and sees her mother on the ground and her brother being strangled by the killer. Diana shouts out, "Get away from my brother!" The pumpkin killer turns his head to see Diana, holding a knife and a hammer. She throws the hammer at the killer, but the pumpkin killer quickly dodges and grabs his switch sight, charging at Diana. He tries to slice her, but Diana dodges it and uses the knife to slice the pumpkin killer's chest. He hits the knife off Diana's hand and raises the switch sight to stab at her. Diana grabs the killer's wrists, struggling not to get stabbed. As the blade gets closer to Diana, Raven grabs the knife and stabs the pumpkin killer's back. He screams out in pain and turns around and gets angry. He pulls out the knife off his back and grabs hold of Raven's neck as he's about to kill her until Rhodey charges at the pumpkin killer, grabbing him as he shouts, "Stay away from my mom!" Rhodey fights the pumpkin killer as he punches him several times, but the killer uses the knife to stab at Rhodey. He screams in pain. The pumpkin killer kicks off Rhodey as he tries to get the knife out of his stomach. The pumpkin killer gets up and grabs the switch sight, but Diana kicks the hammer to Rhodey. He grabs the hammer and hits the pumpkin killer's face 4 times. The killer drops to the ground. Then a gun falls out the killer's pocket. Raven and Diana go to check on Rhodey as he's feeling in pain. Raven says to Diana to hold Rhodey's hand and she'll get the knife out his stomach. Raven starts slowly getting the knife out, but Rhodey is feeling pain on his stomach. He's still holding Diana's hand. Raven looks back to see the pumpkin killer still on the ground. She manages to slowly get the knife out of Rhodey's stomach. He's feeling a lot of pain as Diana puts pressure on his wound. Raven looks to see the pumpkin killer getting back up. Then she notices the killer's gun on the floor. Raven picks up the gun and points it at the pumpkin killer and yells out, "Don't move, or I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you!" The pumpkin killer turns around and laughs at Raven.
If you want to kill me, go ahead. It's your only chance.
Then the pumpkin killer takes 1 step closer. Raven gets scared and starts to pull the trigger, but no bullets fired. Then the pumpkin killer says,
"Good thing I came with 2 guns.
He grabs a gun from his other pocket and points it at Raven, Diana, and Rhodey.
1 loaded, 1 empty.
Raven drops the gun as she shields Diana and Rhodey. Raven says, "What do you want from us? Money?"
Do I look like I need money? No. I do this for fun.
"Why are you here?" Diana yells.
I killed a teen boy and I saw an invite on his phone. So I made my way over here to your house so I can kill more victims. For fun. But I stopped to look at a picture of a familiar face.
Raven says, "What picture?"
A picture of a man. I believe his name is George, isn't it?
Raven, Diana, and Rhodey are shocked. Raven says, "How do you know my husband's name?" The pumpkin killer says,
Your husband was trying to stop me, so I killed him.
"Why?" Rhodey yells.
Why? I'll tell you.
The pumpkin killer takes off his pumpkin mask, revealing a middle-aged man with blood all over his head from the hammer. Raven says, "Who the hell are you?" "Rick Hill. To tell you my story, I didn't have good parents. My mom always smoking drugs and my old man drinking and getting drunk 24/7. Then one day, I was able to afford to get a pumpkin on Halloween. When I was finished with my pumpkin, I was happy with it. Then my parents came in and laughed. My dad grabbed my pumpkin and dropped it to the floor. He said that Halloween means nothing to me. And my mom yelled at me to pick up the fucking mess. That pumpkin meant a lot to me, and my parents took it away from me. Then, the next day, my parents were arguing, And my dad crossed the fucking line and killed my mom. Then he tried to kill me. I ran out the house and he started to chase me down the block. Then the sheriff was walking by and saw my dad was trying to kill me. So the sheriff shot him in the head. He shot my dad in the fucking head. The sheriff took me to the police station and they were going to take me to an orphanage. But I didn't want that. So I ran away to the woods. Far, far away. Till I found an abandoned house. Made it my new home. Since my parents took away what means to me, I decided to take it back. What means to me. When I was older, I wanted to become something. I became a pumpkin killer. I killed a lot of victims every Halloween day and night. And I enjoyed it too. And as for your husband, here's this story. I was dragging a dead body, and your husband stopped his car and told me to put my hands in the air, and I was going to come with him, dead or alive. I was not going to let him take away what means to me. While he was on his radio calling for backup, he was distracted long enough to throw a fucking knife at his heart. He fell to the ground, and I ran towards him, stabbing him multiple times. Then he was dead. I couldn't drag two bodies all by myself. So I left his corpse and took the other body. But the real truth why I killed George was because he almost took away my goal. I don't want to let anyone take away what matters to me. You want to know what Halloween means to me? You want to know? It means I'll never let a single soul take away what's mine. I will keep on killing and killing every year on Halloween until the day I die and show my dead parents what I do. After Rick Hill's speech, Raven, Diana, and Rhodey were shocked by all this. You took George's life. You took my husband's life. He didn't get a chance to see his kids. My kids didn't get a chance to meet their father. Rick Hill says, "Oh, I'm so not sorry." Diana shouts, "You're sick. You're insane. You're psychotic." Rick Hill shouts out, "And you're all gonna be carved like fucking pumpkins tonight." Rhodey yells out to Rick, "You're gonna pay for what you did." Rick Hill says, "Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not gonna pay. I'm gonna kill all three of you today. And when the time is up, I'll wait till next Halloween to kill again." Diana has enough. She grabs a vase and throws it at Rick Hill. She attacks at Rick, but Rick throws her to the wall. Then all three of them try to take on Rick Hill. He tries to shoot at them, but misses a few times. Rick takes down Raven and Diana. Now, all that's left is Rhodey. Rhodey and Rick fight each other, but Rhodey's stab wound is making him bleed out as Rick kicks Rhodey to the ground. Then, Rick makes a final speech. "You are all no match for the Pumpkin Killer! I'm the fucking Pumpkin King! I'm gonna enjoy killing every single one of you!" Rick notices Rhodey's phone on the floor. He picks up the phone and turns it on. He sees that the timer says 11:58. Huh, looks like time's running out for me. I was supposed to murder all of you on Halloween, but they say time is relevant, so who cares? I'll just carve all of you anyway. Rick Hill picks up the switch site. "Now that I met George's family, this will be your last Halloween. To Raven, Rhodey, and Diana, time for me to say Happy fucking Halloween!" Rick Hill raises his switch sight in the air to stab at Rhodey. That is until Diana picks up the hammer and hits the back of Rick's knee. He screams out in pain. "Ah!" Then Raven picks up the knife and stabs at Rick's left foot. He screams in total pain as he drops the switch sight and the gun to the floor. Rhodey quickly grabs the gun and points it at Rick. Raven gets the knife off of Rick's left foot. Then Rhodey says to Rick, "You want to know what Halloween means to us?" Rick looks at Rhodey. "It means go to hell!" Rhodey shoots Rick Hill several times. Rick falls to the ground. Rhodey hears a click sound. The gun is empty. They think Rick is dead. Rhodey gives out a sign of relief. Both Raven and Diana get up from the floor. Then Diana picks up the switch site. They both help out Rhodey. Raven picks up Rhodey's phone and turns it on. The timer says 12 o'clock. Then Raven says to the dead Rick, "Guess time has run out for you, you bastard." As Raven and Diana hold Rhodey and walk towards the door, Raven says to Rhodey, "Nice shot, son." "Thanks, Mom." Then Rhodey says to Diana, "You okay, sis?" "Yeah, a couple of punches and throws aren't gonna bring me down." The three all start to laugh. As they head to the door, Rick Hill gets back up as he screams, holding the knife, charging at the family. The three all turn around. As Rick gets closer, Diana throws the switch sight at Rick's forehead. He falls backwards to the floor. Rick Hill is finally dead. The three all look as Diana says, "That was for our dad. Happy fucking Halloween." Outside, police and ambulance are at Raven's house, as well as news reporters. They took the teen girl's body to the ambulance. Now that they know who killed George and Rick Hill is dead, it's finally over. Raven says to Rhodey and Diana, "Your father will be proud of you both." The three all start to hug each other. They get into the ambulance truck as they get a lift to the hospital.